Yo guys, what is up? Today I'm bringing you yet another draft analysis, and this time it's not for the TBC, it's not for the SMD league, it's for the third and also the final league that I'm joining. This hopefully ensures that I have some regular content on my channel, so hopefully you're gonna enjoy that, hopefully you look forward to that. But this league is the Pokemon Auction League. It's set up by Travesty, also known as the coach of the North Melbourne Kangaskhan's in the PPL Division 1. So I think you probably know him from that. If not, then check his shit out. He will have links in the description down below, just as like the other competitors in this league. I will get to that in a bit. First of all, this league is a little bit different, of course. Just like the SMD league, it's a little bit different. I like joining different drafts and innovative ideas. And this one is also innovative in the drafting itself, not in the playing. Also, that could be pretty cool if someone, I think Sam Fufu had an idea on Twitter once that he said no team preview before the league games. And honestly, if someone wants to set up that league, if someone manages to implement that in Showdown, then let me know, because I would be down to join that. However, this Pokemon Auction League is just for the drafting bit. It's different for the leagues that I'll play. And it's very easy. The draft is obviously by bidding, and the highest bidder gets the mon that's auctioned. Before we started this auctioning, not all the mons from like all of these were up for drafting. Everyone submitted a wish list of 25 mons each, and if people had like the same mons on both lists, then it's just continue on. Like there were 8 teams in total that joined, and so 8 times 25 would be 200 Pokemon. In total, I think there were like 130 Pokemon, since there were like duplicates. But yeah, with that knowledge that there are quite a lot of mons up for auction, everyone went in with 100 points, a budget of 100 points or money. I don't know which thing we're using. I'm gonna say points, I think, for now, but yeah. Everyone had 100 points, and yeah, it's a little bit different from a real auction, since you don't know what's up for auctioning. All the months, you only know the months that you like put up for auction yourself. All the other months from the other coaches are unknown to you. No one can see them except for the admin, which was Travesty. He didn't join as a competitor, but more as like an admin type of guy. So yeah, no one knew what was coming, and the order was randomized as well. So yeah, it's completely up to the randomizer. So that's a little bit different from the real auction. The other thing that's really different from the real auction, which is gonna come into play in the draft this time as well. You don't, like in a regular draft, in a regular auction, you don't have like a limited amount of options or objects you can buy. If you want to buy 10 things, that's cool. If you want to buy 20 things, that's cool. But in the league format, we had a limit of 11 months, and that's actually gonna come into play more than you probably expect beforehand, since before going into this draft, I honestly, I was trying to get mons for as cheap as possible, since I thought getting mons as cheap as possible was going to be the goal for this draft, for this auction type of thing. However, it's going to come, as you can see later on in the league. At the start, it was basically people wanted to try things for as cheap as possible and bid up against each other. But you will see later on in the, that we all kind of have limited amount of spots on our team, making some mons go for a very, very cheap price, just to the guys that were able to save some spots open for their like draft. Yeah, but you'll see that in a bit. I will come down to that whenever that happens in the draft. So yeah, this league is in its alpha version, so that is why this is a little bit messy at some points. Well, I don't know if it's necessarily messy, but we're here to improve. It's a trial and error kind of thing. Obviously, we don't know beforehand how things are going to work out, so it's all by trial and error. And in the following seasons, if there are going to be more seasons, hopefully there are, probably, maybe, you can probably see changes and seeing things go smoother and all. But this is the very much an alpha version of the league, so that is why it's a little bit. Yeah, it's kind of interesting as well, I think, since it makes it a lot more fun to see people fucking up and people regretting their like early decisions. But yeah, we'll come down to that in a bit. first of all, the guys that joined this league together with me. First up, we have Rhyquinn. Well, first of all, of course, Travesty, but Travesty is not joining himself, so Travesty is the admin of this league. He was the auction guy, like the guy with the hammer. I don't know what that name is in English, but he was that guy for us. He basically called the Pokemon name and starting price, and then the going once, going twice, and sold. Links to that will be in the description down below. But the first competitor, and also my week 1 opponent, by the way, Rhyquinn for the Nidoqueens Park Rangers. He is in the PPL Division 2. You should probably all know him. He's a great guy. He's a fantastic content creator. So if you haven't seen his shit yet, check the links down in the description. Next up is Shadow Gaming Hub, also known as Colton, and he is coach of the Osaka Eevees, also in the PPL. Electric Storm 252, or better known as Jack, coach of the Melbourne Victory Store, PPL Division 2. Cleveland Bros coach Ruby Marrow, also in the PPL Division 2, and now people that weren't in the PPL. Geobrodude, coach of the Žalgyarados Vilnius, probably mispronounced that name again. I faced him once before, so in a friendly last season. But he is joining as well, so hopefully I can take him down, hopefully with a good score. However, and last but not least, it's Dracopion, I don't know how to pronounce that, coach of the Brighton Bronzors, also known as King Evan Lad on Twitter, and me, can be your side garden coach. We have in total 8 coaches in the league, and yeah, those are the guys that submitted their mons and auctioned and shit. Oh, and of course, OnesieBanette, by the way, I completely forgot about him. He was, OnesieBanette, coach of the AS Monferno. I'm sorry, Onesie, also known as Alex, by the way. Okay, let's continue on. My first pick, I guess I'm just gonna go straight into it. Basically, like I said, Trev was putting up names and letting people draft our bid for the month that was auctioned, or being auctioned. And first of all, stuff like Mega Heracross got auctioned, something I put up myself. I can quickly show you the list, maybe it's on the screen, of the months I auctioned, put up for auction. Most of the months I didn't want myself, and I hoped to have other people spend their money on it. But as you will see later on in the draft, that money isn't an issue for no one actually. It's more of the limitations of having 11 months max. But yeah, first up for me is Gourgeist. Gourgeist was the 5th mon in total that got auctioned. 5th mon that got auctioned, and I got it for 7 points. It is a mon that I really want badly, and I didn't like some of the mons. Like I said beforehand, I was probably gonna go for getting mons as cheap as possible, but I was willing to spend a lot of money on Gourgeist since I absolutely adore Gourgeist. So I'm glad I got Gourgeist for only 7 points. In my opinion, it's worth a little bit more than 7 points, but I'm glad I got it for 7 points. And people will regret giving me Gourgeist for these amount of points. But that's the first pick. Next up, I got myself something I honestly didn't really want. I hoped with this with this auction to put up the price for others to get it for, well, more expensive price than they wanted it to get. And in some cases it worked, some cases it didn't, and in this case it kind of backfired on me. It's not something I really don't want. I mean, it's okay. It's a mon that I have drafted before, a mon that I have never used before, and a mon that's honestly a little bit cursed with the Cambior Zygarden, and it's Sock. So depending on how we're gonna do with the trades, how we are gonna do that, I'm not sure yet. I don't think it has been arranged, the plan on how to do that. I think I'm gonna throw it away as quickly as possible, but until then I might maybe use it, who knows. But Sock is not a mon I really intended on grabbing and getting, but I got it for 4 points, so it's not that pricey, luckily. Next up, I got a bulky water type, and it's a bulky water type that I honestly wanted to use for a while. Usually on my GPC drafts I got Manaphy, so it really doesn't work that well with Manaphy. But I got Clawitzer, and only for 3 points. And I want to, like I said, I wanted to use Clawitzer for a while, since it has a few options that I think that are going to be really good in a league format. Not gonna reveal everything. You can probably look it up yourself if you're really interested on seeing what it does. But it's a wall breaker. It gets U-turn. It gets more stuff that I'm not gonna reveal because I'm slowly revealing everything. But it's a mod that I've wanted to use for a while, and luckily for me, since I put it up myself and I got it early on in the draft, people let me grab it for 3 points, and that's fantastic. So thankfully I got Clobbitzer, and at this point I noticed that okay, so far I've spent 14 points and I've already gotten like a quarter of my draft completed. So I figured okay, I can definitely spend a lot of money on the rest of my team, since I'm gonna have money left over if I don't. So my next pick is a mod that I honestly wanted to use for a while, and it's a mega. You can only have one mega in the whole league, so you cannot bid on any other megas, which is kind of annoying, since megas very late on, much later on in the draft, got away for very cheap, since no one could bid on them. But Mega Latios is the next one, and I got it for 19 points, so pretty pricey, not gonna lie, but I think it's a fair price. And Mega Latios is a mega that I wanted to use for a while. I think it's really good. I think it's bulky as shit, and I think it's still strong. It has a setup opportunities, it gets a lot of options, and I love it. Defog as well, if I so desire to get a Defogger on my team, since it's, I think, my only Defogger, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it seems to be my only Defogger, so I might maybe use it in a Defog role, might be forced into it as a Defog role. I tend to not run Defog on my team, so that's just a heads up to the opponents. Do not expect me to necessarily run Defog, since it can do a lot more than just Defog, especially since my draft isn't that weak to rocks anyway, so yeah. But I got Mega Latios. Mega Latios is a mod that I've always wanted to use, and I got it for a pretty pricey price, yeah, for 19 points, but it's definitely worth it and it's gonna perform. Next up I got a mod for really cheap again. It's Miltank for 3 points, and Miltank is an NU pick basically in most leagues, and it's pretty versatile. It's pretty bulky. It's speedy. It gets recovery. It gets stuff like T-Wave, Body Slam. You know. Honestly, you know what it does. It gets roll out, and it can be annoying. No, but it's really good, and I got it for 3 points. So I'm really excited to use this, since I have never used Miltank before in a league format, and I have honestly considered using it multiple times. Never really picked it up, since something else was probably more useful at the time. But Miltank is something I've wanted to use for a while now, so glad I could pick it up in this league. My 6th mon is Arcanine. And Arcanine is a mon that I've used in the TPC before, in the very first season. It's been working out really well for me in that season, and I really love the Fire Dog. It gets recovery, it can be a defensive monster, it can be offensive as well. I don't think I've ever used it offensively, but it can be offensive. But Arcanine, I got it for 8 points. I think it's a bargain, even though it's usually around this price. I think it's a really good pick, and I'm really glad I got it. I got some kind of Fire Water Grass Core now, so really happy to get Arcanine in there. My 7th mon that I picked up is Tyrantrum, and Tyrantrum is a mon that I've always wanted to use in the draft format, and I'm so glad I could pick it up right here, even though it's not a dragon type together with Latios. I didn't care. I wanted Tyrantrum, and I didn't want other people to get it, so I got it for 8 points, in my opinion a really good price. But I was really scared of facing it, so I wanted it myself, and I'm really glad I got it, like I said. So yeah, Tyrantrum joined the Cambio Zygarde, and I think I'm gonna be using it a lot this season, in the 7 weeks that this season of the PAL has, yeah. My next pick is here come all the good picks, by the way. At least the good picks, like picks that usually you'll see go around 1, 2, or maybe 3. But I got Jirachi as my 8th pick, and this is where it comes to play, like the randomized order. I think it's working out for me really well here, since a lot of teams had 10 out of the 11 months on their squad already, and at this point only a few people, like I think only 3 coaches at this point, still had a few open spots left, and I was one of them, and Evan was one of them, and the other guy was Ruby. And Ruby did it really smartly. He only had like a draft of 3 or 4 months at the point, so he waited until everyone got too eager to pick up the months that were auctioned early on in the game, early on in the auction, and he picked up everything for really cheap later on. But he allowed me to get Jirachi for 14 points. So I'm really happy that I got Jirachi. Jirachi is a fantastic bone. I really love it. It's in almost all of my teams in OU, and I am really experienced using it. So I think it's gonna perform really well in league format as well, since it is annoying. It's a steel type. It gets a flinching thing. What's the thing again? Serene Grace. It has a lot of options in its utility. It gets Healing Whiz. It can be a special attacker. It gets a lot of stuff that's really useful. I think I'm gonna enjoy using it a lot. My Nightmon is a mon that I have in a GPC this season as well, just like Gourgeist and Zog. Oh no, I dropped Zog, by the way, never mind. Just like Gourgeist, Clefable. And Clefable is something I didn't really expect to get. This was really fun because I acted in the since like I said, Ruby had a lot of options left, and he picked up a lot of OU mods for very cheap. And he bid on me with Clefable, and I acted like I didn't want Clefable, and acted like I didn't want him to have Clefable for a very cheap price. So he let me have it for 11 points. I think that's really cheap for Clefable, and I am glad I picked it up. I would have preferred something like Togekiss over Clefable, since I kind of wanted the flying typing, since I didn't have flying typing yet. But of course, I didn't know if Togekiss was up for auctioning, if someone actually put it on the list, because I didn't. But yeah, that's why I settled for Clefable. Clefable is a really good one. I'm gonna enjoy using it. It's a good core with Jirachi as well, and with the Mega Latios in a fire. I'm almost gonna say Fire Water Grass core, but in a Steel Fairy Dragon core, or Dragon Fairy Steel core, I guess. But yeah, Clefable is the next mon on my team, so that's really cool. As my 10th mon, I got a mon that I've always wanted to use in the league format, but I don't know why I never pick it up, because it's a really fantastic mon. It's Crocodile, and Crocodile I got it for 4 points, and this mon and the very last mon I got it for like the set price. No one wanted to bid on it because everyone had a full draft or had just one mon they could pick up, and they didn't want these mons. So I got Crocodile for 4 points. It's a ground type I didn't have yet. It's a dark type I didn't have yet, and it has a massive massive amount of utility options. It can be defensive, it can be offensive. It can be multiple offensive types of offense. It can be Scarfer, it can be Choice Band, it can be a Pursuit Trapper kind of thing. It can be a Stealth Rock, it has Taunt. I mean, it has so many options, and I've always wanted to use it, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna enjoy using this thing a lot, like a lot. So I've always trouble facing it, so hopefully I can replicate that, like how the other guys use it against me, and hopefully I can use it well versus my opponents this season. And as the very last pick, I got my flying type. It doesn't really have a best flying step, since the best flying type I think is Hidden Power Flying, but I got Thunderous Eye. And Thunderous Eye, just so you know, it's the prankster one, and I got it for 6 points. So it's again the lowest price, since no one wanted to bid on it. Thunderous Eye, fantastic. It has a really high special attack and physical attack stat. It has the Prankster T-Wave, a lot of utility, and it's the electric type I kinda wanted, and it's also the flying type I kinda wanted. So I'm glad I picked it up, and for a very cheap price as well. So yeah, that's basically it. Like I said, the team, I think the team is fantastic, honestly. It has a lot of fun mons and a lot of good mons as well. And I got it for a very cheap price. Some of them for a very pricey amount. But in the end, I still have 13 points left over. So depending on how we're gonna do with the trading, I still have some points left over, because we had probably too many months of auctioning, meaning that a lot of months were a little bit too cheap in the end. And yeah, but that's a learning experience for next time. But it means that I have a fantastic draft, in my opinion. I think that's better than most of the GPC drafts I ever had, since yeah, it's probably because there are fewer competitors in the season as well. But yeah, that's my team. Gourgeist, Zog, Clawitzer, Megalatios, Meltec Arcanine, Tyrantrum, Jirachi, Clefable, Crocodile, and Thunderous Eye. Let me know in the description, in the comments down below, what you think of this draft, and yeah, if you think I got some shit for good prices, or a little bit too expensive, or way too cheap. And yeah, let me know if you're excited to see this Pokemon Auction League in full motion. First week I'm gonna face Nidoqueens Sparkle Rangers, probably gonna be next week, depending on when I upload this. We'll see. But yeah, let me know what you think, and if you did enjoy this, then leave that like, and yeah, thanks for watching, and hope to see you next week versus the Nidoqueens Sparkle Rangers.